The clash between number 2 Georgia and number 4 Alabama is the biggest story of week 5, and for very good reason. The winner of that SEC showdown will basically be penned into the college football playoff. But that is simply one massive game on a great weekend. Oklahoma State and Kansas State, both coming off a loss, are ready for a battle of early survival in the Big 12. Penn State hosts Illinois in a matchup of unbeaten Big 10 teams. And Louisville travels to Notre Dame for a game with significant value in the college football playoff race. More than a handful of other top 25 programs are hitting the road for a conference game. It's a busy slate around the nation. Hey there, welcome everybody to the Week 5 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and Michael Bullock. A total of 19 games, I believe, on the docket this week. Let's not waste too much more time. Let's dive right on into the action. It's almost similar to last week, only we have one extra game here. We have one Friday game and 18 Saturday games to address. So we started off with our Friday matchup. And we got a good one in the ACC. The now number 7 Miami, Florida Hurricanes, the U. They will be at home at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, and they will be welcoming the Hokies of Virginia Tech. And you can find this game over on ESPN. And on the call for that game, it will be Anish Shroff along with Andre Ware. I believe Paul Carcaterra is their sideline reporter. And Miami opening up as a 17.5-point favorite. So with that, let's get this started here. In losses to Vanderbilt and Rutgers, Virginia Tech allowed 11.2 yards per pass attempt. Those offenses have nowhere near the firepower of Miami's aerial attack. So there may be plenty of nerves in Miami tomorrow night. Rivalries can get weird, but Miami should be able to pull away eventually. I can see this being close into the fourth quarter, but I think Miami will put it away with a late score. So I got Miami winning this one. My final score, 37-23. Miami defeats Virginia Tech. So not much more to say. MF, come on in. Number 7, Miami, the U, at home against Virginia Tech tomorrow night.
Yeah, this should be an interesting matchup, to say the very least. It's just going to be how do you play in the key moments. But like you said, I think Miami will be able to weather the storm, and they should be able to get this one with a victory. So give me Miami to win it, and Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean this should be it should be good right up until near the end, where I think Miami will basically pull away. So yeah, I too am going with the Miami Hurricanes to win this one. So let's get on to the Saturday slate, and boy howdy, Florida, we, like you said, 18 games. That's quite a bit.
And 4 of them in the noon window here. So let's start it off with the number 6 Ole Miss Rebels. They're at home once again, Vaught Hemingway Stadium in Oxford, Miss, on ABC. And they're going to be welcoming the Kentucky Wildcats to town. And on the call for that one, I believe this is, it is Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, and Molly McGrath. And it is Ole Miss opening up as a 16.5-point favorite. So MF, we start with you here. Ole Miss, number 6. They got Kentucky coming in to kick off the Saturday slate. First of 4 noon games this week.
Yeah, and normally you would think Ole Miss would probably be that Kentucky would be a threat, a dangerous team. But Ole Miss right now is looking like a juggernaut right now. They've been looking really good lately, and I kind of feel like Ole Miss will get the job done and win this game. So give me Ole Miss. Bullock, is yours.
Yeah, Yeah, Ole Miss. I mean, they're just an absolute juggernaut right now. I mean, they are, yeah, they are proving that they could be a threat in that SEC. So yeah, I got Ole Miss winning this one as well. So it's yours, Florida.
Yes, indeed. And my question is, which version of Kentucky will show up? After a blowout loss to South Carolina, the Wildcats a week later and in the same building nearly upset Georgia. While I'm taking Ole Miss regardless, you can make a convincing case for a lopsided result or a close finish, but I got Ole Miss winning this one. Final score for me, I'm going to go 38-21. Ole Miss defeats Kentucky. So moving on to our second noon game. Big noon Saturday on Fox. And it will feature the number 12 Michigan Wolverines once again at home at the Big House, Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. And they're going to be welcoming the Minnesota Golden Gophers to town. And you know who's working this one as always if it's Big Noon Saturday. That would be Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, and the All-American girl Jenny Taft. Michigan opening up as a 10-point favorite. Michael Bullock started off with you here. Michigan, last second win over USC last week. Can they keep that momentum going as they welcome Minnesota to town on Saturday?
Yeah, like you said, that was a much needed win for them over a team like USC, and yeah, I think this momentum can continue. The running game, I think, was the reason why Michigan won that game, and don't be surprised if they continue with that right now. So I got Michigan winning this one. So it's yours, Florio.
Absolutely. Relative to Big Ten and college football playoff aspirations, the absence of a threatening passing game is not sustainable for Michigan. But hey, Minnesota ceded 272 rushing yards and only 62 through the air in last weekend's 31-14 loss to Iowa. I believe Michigan can bully ball its way to another win. I got Michigan winning this game. My final score, 34-16. Michigan defeats Minnesota. MF, what a win last week. Michigan knocking off SC. Let's see if they can keep the momentum going.
Yeah, and what they did in the first half of the game was exactly what you said. Running the football, relying on the defense. That's always been the bread and butter of Michigan football, especially when Harbaugh was the head coach. Now, second half it got a little dicey because the running game started to go a little stale. Alex Orji didn't really look as assured or confident in his level of play, and USC was was unfortunate that they didn't get enough plays towards the end. The defense of Michigan just absolutely stiffened up when it needed to and got a major outcome towards the end, getting a late touchdown and then setting themselves up by basically nailing it down at the end to win it. So I think Michigan will win this game and they will continue their run towards possibly trying to get themselves into not only just the college football playoff, but hopefully to try to go after the Big Ten again. Remember, their only loss was outside of the Big Ten conference. So that was a no harm, no foul. It hurt them in the playoff look. But as far as like trying to win the Big Ten, they did not get affected by that loss. So nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
All right. So, okay, the first of our big main event games this week. Oh boy, good. Perhaps the game of the early window right here. Big game in the Big 12 here. The number 20, I should say, number 20 Oklahoma State Cowboys on the road against the number 23 Kansas State Wildcats. Bill Snyder Memorial Family Stadium in Manhattan, Kansas. And you can find this game over on ESPN. And on the call for that one will be Bob Wischusen, along with Louis Riddick and Chris Budden. Kansas State opening up as a 4.5-point favorite. So the first of our big main event games this week. We got 4 big main event games, and this is one of them right here. Oklahoma State lost at home to a backup quarterback, and Kansas State laid an egg on the road against BYU. And we'll address BYU later. Neither team is entering this conference tilt on a positive note. For me, though, the greatest concern is Oklahoma State's complete lack of a running game, despite bringing back the entire offensive line in front of Ollie Gordon II. Until that changes, I can't really pick Oklahoma State in this. So I'm going to go with Kansas State to win this one. My final score for me, I'm going to go 26-20. I think Kansas State is going to outlast Oklahoma State in what should be a very good game. And as a matter of fact, I think it'll be the best of the 4 12 noon games. So give me K-State to win. So MF, the first of our 4 huge main event games this week. Number 20, Oklahoma State. Number 23, Kansas State. Big 12 implications in this one.
Yeah, Big 12 implications indeed. And I'm going with Kansas State. I totally agree with everything you just said. Nothing more to add. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, give me Kansas State to win this one as well. I mean, you basically said everything for us. So let's. I think we're going into some of the afternoon matchups that we're getting into.
Actually, we have one more 12 noon game, guys. One last 12 noon game. And remember, I talked about BYU. Well, here they are. The now welcome back to the top 25 at number 22, the BYU Cougars. And they're going to be on the road against the Baylor Bears. McLean Stadium in Waco, Texas. You can find this game over on Fox Sports 1, FS1. And on the call for this game will be Alex Faust and Robert Smith. And Baylor, and believe it or not, Baylor actually opening up as a 3.5-point favorite. I'm a little surprised by that spread. MF, I'm surprised by that spread considering, did you see what BYU did against K-State last Saturday night?
Yeah. And, well, the thing is remember, this is Baylor in Waco at home. I think this is the home cooking is why they're giving them the favor. Even though BYU did hang in there, they're a really good team, and I'm a little surprised that they actually did it that way. But I'm with you on this one. I'm calling for BYU to win this. I don't know. I just feel like let's see what we get, but I think BYU wins. So nothing more to say. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, it is a little surprising that Baylor actually comes in as the favorite here, but I really need to see something from Baylor here that makes me feel like that I should go with them. So until then, I'm with you guys. I gotta go with BYU to win this match here. So let's move on.
Well, I gotta give my thought, and there is a slight cause for concern, and that is the early kickoff. Remember, this is a 12 noon kickoff here. The early kickoff is a slight cause for concern, but a sturdy defense should be enough for the unbeaten Cougars on the road. So I am going to go with BYU to win this one. Close game. I'm going to say 28-20 BYU gets by Baylor. And now we move on to our 3:30 games. We got 4 more of those. And we're going to start it off with the Big Ten on CBS. The now number 13 USC Trojans back at home at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. And they're going to be welcoming the Wisconsin Badgers into the Coliseum. Big Ten on CBS. You know who's working that as always. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jenny Dell. They will be in the Coliseum for this one. And USC. It's USC opening up as a 15.5-point favorite I believe Michael Bullock takes this one. So Bullock, the big question here is, can USC bounce back after that tough luck loss to Michigan last week?
Who are they playing, Florio?
Wisconsin.
Yeah, USC really needs this. I mean, after such a tough loss to Michigan, especially the way they lost it, I think they can bounce back. But maybe Wisconsin can and maybe will give them some bits. But at the end of the day, I got USC winning this one, so it's yours.
Yeah, I agree. Now, similarly, the Badgers are regrouping after a serious knee injury to quarterback Tyler Van Dyke. Braden Locke has some experience, but he's averaged only 5.1 yards per attempt in scattered snaps for Wisconsin. That's a tough sell to predict an upset at USC. I could see this game possibly being close into the fourth quarter and USC pulling away with a late score, but regardless, I got USC winning this one. I'll give them a 2-score win. I'll say 27-13. USC bounces back. They'll defeat Wisconsin in the Coliseum. So not much more to say. MF, bounce back for SC here.
You would think it would be a bounce back for USC, and that's totally what I agree with on that one. So I also got USC winning as well, and Florio, what's yours?
All right, boys. It's now time for the second of our 4 huge main event matchups. The number 15 Louisville Cardinals on the road against the number 16 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Notre Dame Stadium, South Bend, Indiana. Now, when you hear me say that, you're thinking, oh, NBC as always. Wrong. This game will be exclusively, and we need to emphasize that, exclusively on Peacock, no NBC. This is Peacock only for this huge matchup here with number 15 Louisville and number 16 Notre Dame. And a small change in the announce team this week. Normally it's Dan Hicks along with Jason Garrett and Sora Stevenson, but actually Paul Burmeister is going to be on the call for this. So it'll be Paul Burmeister along with Jason Garrett and Zora Stevenson, and Notre Dame opening up as a 6.5-point favorite. All right, guys, here we go. All right. Can the Notre Dame defense keep carrying the team? Transfer quarterback Riley Leonard has trudged to 5.7 yards per attempt and topped out 163 passing yards in his first 4 appearances with the Fighting Irish. The hosts are favored, but Louisville, which has given up a meager 2.5 yards a carry, is built to beat Notre Dame for a second straight year if Riley Leonard is not more effective as a passer. However, you know me, I'm going to go with my team. I think Notre Dame's going to pull it out. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a great game. But I think at the end of the day, I'm going to take a chance and go with Notre Dame to win. I mean, would I be surprised if Louisville won? No, I would not, considering how Louisville handled Notre Dame a year ago in Louisville. But this time we're at the stadium. I got a good feeling about this one. I mean, yes, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, but I think Notre Dame can get the payback from last year on Louisville. 23-20, Notre Dame defeats Louisville and gets their payback from last year. So not much more to say. MF, number 15 Louisville, number 16 Notre Dame, the second of our 4 huge main event matchups this week.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a good one too. I kind of feel like this is Notre Dame. I mean, after that hiccup that they had against Northern Illinois, you notice how the Fighting Irish has really started to dial in. Like, they're more dialed in now than they were earlier in the year. I think that loss was a wake-up call. That was the moment where, in the immortal words of Edge, they woke up and they have taken it out on everybody. I think it's now more about pride than anything else. So I'm sorry, Anthony. I disagree with your analysis here. I think Notre Dame is going to blow out Louisville. I think this is not going to be close at all. I think Notre Dame is on a revenge tour now. I think Notre Dame got humiliated by Northern Illinois, and I think they're about to beat the brakes off of Louisville. So I'm even gonna go as far to say this is not even going to be close. 35-14. Notre Dame crushes Louisville in Notre Dame Stadium. Like I said, Marcus Freeman now has his boys dialed in because of what happened in that game against Northern Illinois, and he's holding that over their heads. They're about to crush Louisville, and it's not even going to be close. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame will win, but I kind of think it's going to be close because you know that other team's going to basically they're going to give them all they can handle. So Notre Dame will win, but I really think it's going to be a close one. I mean, would I be surprised if it's a blowout? No, I wouldn't be. But either way, whether it's close or it's a blowout, I got Notre Dame winning. So it's yours, Florio.
I wouldn't mind seeing another smash job. I wouldn't. But we'll see. We shall see. All right. These next two 3:30 games, you can make an argument that they're both sleeper matchups. I'll be honest with you. First up, the now number 21 Oklahoma Sooners on the road against the Auburn Tigers. Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn. Game on ABC. And on the call for this one will be the voice of Monday Night Raw, Mr. Joe Tessitore, and another small change in the broadcast group. Normally, his broadcast partner is Jesse Palmer, but Jesse Palmer will not be working this game this week. Jordan Rogers from the SEC Network will be sitting in for Jesse Palmer. So it'll be Joe Tessitore along with Jordan Rogers and Katie George. Oklahoma opening up as only a 2.5 point favorite. MF, I don't think there's anything else left for me to say except trap game, possibly. Oklahoma and Auburn.
Oh yeah. Look, Oklahoma's gonna go up against one of the premier teams in the SEC. At least that has like I'm not gonna say a Mount Rushmore resume, but they are former national champions in their own right. They won the championship. And they definitely will give Oklahoma a whole bunch of fits. I think that's definitely no doubt about it. But I think Oklahoma can figure it out. I think they'll be able to get the job done. This one will be close, though. This one will be close. I could see maybe a field goal to a touchdown, but this is going to be at least a one-score game with Oklahoma getting the victory. But like you said, this is going to be dangerous because now you're going into literally the teeth of the SEC. So, Bullock is yours.
Yeah, but I smell a trap game here as well. But I mean, yeah, Auburn is definitely going to hang right in there with Oklahoma to the very end. But I think at the end of the day, Oklahoma will find a way to win this one. I agree. I think it's going to be a touchdown or a field goal game here. So, really got nothing more to say. It's yours, Florida.
Oklahoma is benching Jackson Arnold in favor of Michael Hawkins Jr. And Auburn's quarterback situation is also a disaster, with a back and forth between Peyton Thorne and Hank Brown. Both teams have quality defenses, so it will probably be a low-scoring slog, one that could go either way. But I too have Oklahoma winning. Boomer Sooner. I think it's definitely going to be within that range. You guys nailed it on the head. But I've got it as just over a field goal. I'm going to say 20-16. 20-16. Oklahoma barely gets by Auburn. And the other And the final 3:30 game, another sleeper matchup. This is going to be a fun one. The now number 24 Texas A&M Aggies. They're going to be the designated home team as they take on the Arkansas Razorbacks. AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas, Jerry World, the home of the Dallas Cowboys. You know, this has been a tradition that's been going on for a good number of years now. So Arkansas and Texas A&M in Jerry World on ESPN. And on the call for that game will be Dave Patch and Dusty Dvoracek. And the spread favors Texas A&M. Texas A&M opening up as a 5.5-point favorite. I believe this one goes to Bullock. So Bullock, Arkansas against number 24 Texas A&M, neutral site game, Jerry World, AT&T Stadium in Arlington. It's always fun when these two get together there. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting another fun one here.
Yeah, I think this should be another good one here, but yeah, I mean, especially with this being in a neutral site here, so I think Texas A&M will somehow pull it out, but I'm telling you, Arkansas, I think they'll hang in there till the very end, but I got Texas A&M winning this one, so it's yours, Florio.
The victory at Auburn was an enormous boost to Arkansas's hopes of making a bowl game. However, the Razorbacks' remaining slate is a monster. 6 of their 8 opponents are currently ranked, and that stretch begins with this neutral site battle. Texas A&M quarterback Connor Weigman will be a game-time decision, but Marcel Reed has been a capable replacement while getting plenty of help from the defense. I 100% agree with you, Bullock. This is most certainly going to be a close game. But at the end of the day, I got to go with A&M in this one. I think A&M, I could see A&M winning it with a late touchdown here. So give me Texas A&M to win. 27-22, Texas A&M defeats Arkansas. MF, Arkansas and A&M in Jerry World. Oh, this is going to be good.
Tough game, tough matchup to call here. But I'm almost in agreement with you, Anthony Florio. I kind of feel like A&M's going to win this one. Would I be shocked if Arkansas wins it? Absolutely not. But I think A&M will just eke it out. It's going to be a close game. A&M wins, so Florio, it's yours.
All right, we move on now to we only have one 4:15 kickoff here before we get into the primetime games. And we got a lot of good ones in the primetime window. We're going to be eating in primetime, boys. All right. But first, let's get this 4:15 game out of the way. The number 1 team in all the land, the Texas Longhorns. They will once again be at home at Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium in Austin. And they're going to be welcoming the Mississippi State Bulldogs into DKR Stadium. You can find this game over on the SEC Network. And on the call for that one, it will be Tom Hart, Cole Kubelik. Yeah, Tom Hart and Cole Kubelik. Jordan Rogers usually works with Tom Hart, but Cole Kubelik will be sitting in the analyst chair alongside of Tom Hart for this matchup between Mississippi State and Texas. Texas, the biggest favorite of the week, guys. Texas is opening up as a 38.5-point favorite.
Yikes.
Yikes indeed, Bullock. That's the magic word. I'll make it short and sweet. Hook 'em horns. Doesn't matter if Quinn Ewers or Arch Manning starts for Texas on Saturday. The Longhorns are a heavy favorite, will be a heavy favorite. Mississippi State gave up 86 combined points in recent home losses to Toledo and Florida. Florida, that's understandable. Toledo, dude. I don't know what else there is to say. Hook 'em horns, baby. Texas all the way. 48, and I'm going to go as far as to call this the lock of the week. Lock of the week, Texas, 48-21. Nothing more to say. MF, hook 'em horns.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be Texas, and they're gonna win this one going away. It's not even gonna be close, so nothing more to add. Bullock, it's yours.
Hook 'em horns, baby. That's all I'll say. Texas wins this one, and I'll laugh her.
Okay. We move on to the primetime games, and we have 2 7 o'clock games. And I'm going to tell you right now, wait till we get to the 7:30 games, boys. We got 3 7:30 games, and they're all good ones. So, but first, let's talk about the first of our 2 7 o'clock kickoffs. The now number 17 Clemson Tigers back at home at Memorial Stadium in Death Valley, and they're going to be welcoming one of the newest additions to the ACC, the Stanford Cardinal. Stanford coming into Clemson on ESPN. Mark Jones and Roddy Jones will be on the call for that one. And Clemson opening up as a 21.5-point favorite. MF, Clemson, they're back.
They are. They're looking pretty good right now. I'll give Clemson the win here. I think they'll play pretty well and they'll get the job done. So, give me the Clemson Tigers to win. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I think Clemson. They should win this one here. So there's really nothing more to say. I got Clemson. It's yours, Florio.
Last week, Stanford traveled to Syracuse and stole a Friday night win. Great result for the Cardinal in their ACC opener. Another cross-country trip is on the docket, however, and Clemson will be a more formidable opponent. The main story is whether Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik will continue a hot streak as the Tigers work to rebuild their national perception after the rough loss to Georgia in week 1. Clemson wins. I think they'll win going away. 44-21, Clemson over Stanford. The other 7 o'clock kickoff, you can find this game over on Fox Sports 1, and it will feature the number 18 Iowa State Cyclones on the road against the Houston Cougars. TD-ECU Stadium in Houston. And on the call for this game, it'll be Eric Collins and Spencer Tillman on that one. And it is Iowa State. Iowa State opening up as a 14.5-point favorite. And I do believe Michael Bullock takes this one, starts this one off. So Bullock, number 18, Iowa State on the road against Houston. Who you got?
Yeah, what can you say about Iowa State? I like what I've seen from them so far, and I think they should be able to handle their business with Houston. So give me Iowa State to win this one. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, it's going to be Iowa State. Through 4 weeks, Houston has mustered only 4.8 yards per snap. That is not an encouraging sign opposite Iowa State, who has only yielded 9.7 points a game in 3 wins so far. It's Iowa State. Iowa State wins. Final score for me, 31-13. Iowa State over Houston. MF, your thoughts?
Iowa State, no doubt about it. Nothing more to add. It's yours.
All right, boys. We got 3 7:30 kickoffs, and all 3 of them. Oh, boy. But, gentlemen, are you ready for the main event? The game of the week. Hell, so far, the game of the year to this point in this 2024 college football season. What else is there to say? It's the Saturday night game of the week on ABC. The game of the year. The number 2 Maiden Georgia Bulldogs on the road against the number 4 Alabama Crimson Tide. Nick Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. A game of this magnitude, there's only one announced crew that can do this one. You know who it is. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe, Game Day. The Game Day boys will be there.
Including Game Day Zone and former Alabama coach Nick Saban.
Nick Saban's going home, boys. That's all there is to say there. And Georgia, with the smallest spread of the week, I'll even go as far as to say this is the smallest spread we've seen all season long so far to this point. Georgia only opening up as only a 1.5 point favorite. That's it.
Wow.
It's damn near a pick 'em.
I was thinking the exact same thing. It's almost like a pick 'em.
Darn tootin', it's a pick 'em. And it's only fitting that me being the voice of this show, it's only fitting that I get the first word. One of the best matchups on the 2024 calendar. Georgia heads to Tuscaloosa for only the third regular season clash between the powerhouses in the last decade. We know it will be a slugfest. We know Jalen Milroe's mobility will be vital for Bama's chances. We know Georgia's defense is sensational. If you prefer the Tide and you go with them, I would nod in understanding. However, I just happen to trust Georgia by the slightest of margins, and not in the least because of their head coach, Kirby Smart, either. I believe this is going to be a 5-star Shakespearean drama classic. You know this is going to be close going into the fourth quarter, but I think Georgia's going to steal it with a late touchdown, and they're going to steal this one. I'm going with the Maine Georgia Bulldogs to win this one. 24-23, Georgia steals one in Bryant-Denny, in Tuscaloosa. But would I be surprised if Alabama wins? Absolutely not. Not at all. Not in the least. So I got to go with Georgia. But if Bama were to win, I would not at all be shocked if that happens. I would not. So there isn't anything else left to say here. MF as the Kirk Herbstreit to my Chris Fowler. I mean, this would easily be our game right here. I mean, we got Georgia number 2, Alabama number 4, under the lights at Bryant-Denny in Tuscaloosa. We are so used to seeing these two teams in December battling for the SEC championship, which could still happen. You never know; it could still happen. But
yeah,
could this possibly be a precursor to possibly the SEC championship, or dare I say, the national championship?
it could, very possible. But I still feel like Georgia's going to win the game. I'm in an agreement here. I think Georgia's going to be the better team on this one, and I think they'll sneak away with the big win. So really, nothing more to say. And yeah, Bullock is yours.
Well, what can you say? I mean, like you said, this is the game of the year up to this point, and yeah, I mean, this could be not only an SEC championship preview, but maybe, possibly a national championship preview. We'll have to wait and see. But you know this Alabama team's going to come fired up because not just Georgia coming in, but like I just said, Nick Saban's coming home as part of the game day crew. You know he's going to be in attendance. This team's going to be fired up. And DeBoer's going to have his team ready to play. Know that, hey, we respect the Georgia Bulldogs, but we sure as hell do not fear them. And Anthony and Fletch, you know what I'm about to do here, boys. I don't know if we've done it yet here this season, but you know what? For a big game like this, and with Alabama being at home, with that raucous crowd and Nick Saban coming home, for the first time on TXN Sports World College Football Thursday this season,
hit it.
I'm lone wolfing it, boys. I'm going for the upset here. Alabama is going to beat Georgia in their home field. I'm going to say 27-24 in overtime. I think it's going to go overtime here, boys. And Alabama is going to win it, and they're going to get their first monumental win of the season. And Florio, especially Fletch, you've been waiting for me to do this all season long. I'm lone wolfing it. Ow! Oh yeah, dig it.
Oh. Well, in the immortal words of the late great Regis Philbin, well, how do you follow that? My gosh. But nonetheless, that is going to be fun. I cannot wait to watch that game on Saturday night. No doubt about it. All right. We got another good one here. We got another game exclusively on Peacock here. The number 3 Ohio State Buckeyes on the road against the Michigan State Spartans. Spartan Stadium, East Lansing, Michigan. The game is on Peacock. And on the call for that game, an interesting pairing for this a very interesting announcer pairing here. Andrew Siciliano along with Colt McCoy. Yes, that Colt McCoy, the former Texas quarterback who played in the NFL. Solid, not overly spectacular, but it is what it is. But Andrew Siciliano, Colt McCoy on the call. Ohio State opening up as a 23.5-point favorite. So I believe it's MF who starts it off here. So MF, number 3 Ohio State on the road against a halfway decent Michigan State team here.
Halfway decent Michigan State team, but Ohio State's just in a different level right now. The way they've been playing right now, they're just in a different level. So give me Ohio State to win it. Nothing more to say, and Bullock is yours.
Yeah, I got the Buckeyes winning this one here, so it's yours, Florio.
Ohio State, interestingly enough, has not lost in East Lansing since 1999. There is little reason to believe that streak will not reach 10 straight for the Buckeyes, given the combination of their defensive strength and Michigan State's growing pains on offense. Ohio State wins this one comfortably, 45-17, Ohio State, all over Michigan State. And we move on to the third. It's our third 7:30 game, but it's our main. It's our fourth and final main event game of the week. The number 9 Penn State Nittany Lions at home at Beaver Stadium in Happy Valley, and they're going to be welcoming the number 19, the now number 19 Illinois Fighting Illini. Big Ten Saturday night on NBC, and I do believe this is the traditional crew for that, and that is yes, it will be Noah Eagle, Todd Blackledge, and Catherine. And Penn State opening up as a 17.5-point favorite. Michael Bullock, we started off with you. Penn State, number 9, somewhat expected. But who would have thought that we would see Illinois at 4-0 and number 19 in the country? So Bullock, number 9, Penn State at home against number 19, Illinois. Big Ten Saturday night on NBC. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, I think Illinois could hang in there for most of the game, but I think eventually Penn State's going to run away and win this one. So give me the Nittany Lions to win this. So it's yours, Florio.
Definitely. The simple version is Penn State has a better offense, better defense, and are playing at home. But if the Illini can generate a few takeaways, and they already have 10 this season, tied for the 5th highest total in the nation, that's the key to flipping the result. But ultimately, I got to go with Penn State to win this one as well. I think Illinois will give them a game. I think it could be this could be another fourth quarter game, and Penn State wins with a late score. So I'm going to go with Penn State to win. 27-20, Penn State sneaks by this very game Illinois team. So Not much more to say. MF. How about that? How about them finding a line night? Number 19, but they got to go to Happy Valley? I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. It's going to be a lot more difficult too. But I'm going to go with Penn State to win this as well. So really nothing more to add. And Florio, it's yours.
All right. And we move on to a 7:45 kickoff. This over on the SEC network. The number 14 LSU Tigers at home at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, welcoming the Jaguars of South Alabama to Tiger Stadium. And on that call will be Dave Neal and Aaron Murray. LSU opening up as a 20.5-point favorite. Yes, 20.5-point favorite. So it's LSU. I don't know what else there is to really say here. Losing star linebacker Harold Perkins Jr. to a season-ending knee injury will be problematic for LSU later on. Saturday, it shouldn't be a big issue, given that South Alabama has scored 135 points in the last 2 games, and LSU is dealing with a habit of slow starts. This matchup could be a little more uncomfortable than expected for the hosts, but I do think LSU will pull away eventually. So I got LSU winning this game 45-24, LSU over South Alabama. MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm in a total agreement here. I got LSU winning this game and winning this one pretty comfortably. So there's really nothing more to add. And Florio is Bullock is yours.
Yeah, I got LSU winning this one as well. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
And we get into we got 3 late night kickoffs here, guys. Starting with a 10 o'clock kickoff, and you can find this game over on Fox Sports 1. Look who's back in the top 25 for the first time in a long time, guys. At number 25, it's the Boise State Broncos. And they will be at home on the Smurf turf at Albertson Stadium in Boise. And they're going to be welcoming the Washington State Cougars. And on the call for that one, for FS1, it'll be Dan Hellie and Petros Papadakis. Boise State opening up as a 6.5-point favorite. And I believe MF starts this one off. So MF, Boise, back in the top 25, and they got Washington State coming to the Smurf turf on Saturday night.
Yeah, no, I gotta go with Boise. I kind of feel like they're gonna win this one. Look, like you said, this is the first time in a long time where Boise's looked very good, and I don't think there's really much for us to add here. So, Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with Boise State as well. I mean, look, they're at home, especially in, as you like to call it, the Smurf turf there. You know they always play well when you got that blue turf there. So give me Boise State to win this one. So it's yours for them.
Washington State has quietly put together a 4-0 start with wins over Texas Tech and Washington. Boise State, meanwhile, gave Oregon a real scare in week 2. If you're able to stay up late, it's worth the watch. I will go with Boise because of their star running back, Ashton Gianti, and home field advantage in what presumably will be a high-scoring game. You know how much I love those. Boise wins this one. Close game, high-scoring game. Boise wins. My final score, 38-33, Boise State over Washington State. 2 games left, and we move on to what would have been under the old banner. We would have considered this Pac-12 After Dark, but it's not Pac-12 After Dark anymore. I guess we could call it Big 12 After Dark now. A 10:15 kickoff on ESPN. The number 10 Utah Utes at home at Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City, welcoming the Arizona Wildcats. This game on ESPN, it'll be Dave Fleming and Brock Osweiler. I do believe their sideline reporter is Caleb Burton. And Utah opening up as a 7.5-point favorite. Michael Bullock, you started off. Number 10, Utah at home against Arizona. The big question is, as always, Utah quarterback Cam Rising, will he be able to go? He might be.
Yeah, if he's able, to me, either way, I got Utah winning this one. But if Cam Rising plays, I think it should be a blowout. But if he's not playing, I think this could turn out to be a much closer game than what everyone is thinking. So, but no matter what, I got Utah winning this one. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah. I mean, from what I'm hearing that he will. The indication is that he will go, but we're going to have to wait and see. But regardless, I got to go with Utah. Like I said, I have no idea if Cameron Rising will return. He is cleared to play, but the Utah coaching staff needs to see him throw with adequate velocity to start him. So that's the latest. Despite the uncertainty around him, I will continue tossing darts in Utah's favor because of a defense that has surrendered no more than 21 points so far. Utah pulls it out. I'm going to say 24-20. Utah gets by Arizona. So not much more to say here. MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm also with you guys on this one. I also got Utah winning as well. It's gonna be an interesting matchup. Nothing more to add, Florio. This could be it. Last game of the night.
We got one game left, guys. Another one that under the old banner would have been Pac-12 After Dark, but instead it's Big Ten After Dark. 11 o'clock. It's an 11 o'clock kickoff on Fox, and it features another pair of former Pac-12 rivals, both now in the Big Ten. The number 8 Oregon Ducks on the road against the UCLA Bruins, and you know what that means. MF's favorite stadium, the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. You're going to get to see the Rose Bowl, MF, on Fox as UCLA welcomes number 8 Oregon to town. And on the call for that one will be Connor Onion and Mark Helfrich. Oregon opening up as a 25.5-point favorite. Oregon. UCLA has not scored more than 17 points in a game this season. Safe to say the Bruins are a hefty underdog here, especially after Oregon finally had a strong all-around performance last time out rather. Oregon wins going away 41-17. Oregon will make themselves at home in the Rose Bowl. Not much more to say. MF, your thoughts?
Agreed. Not much to add on that one. It is Oregon to win. Bullock, you got the final say for tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna close out and say Oregon will win this one as well. So there's really nothing more to say. So let's call it a night, Florio.
All right, gentlemen, and that will indeed put the bow on this Week 5 TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in as always. We'll be back with you again tomorrow night at 10:30, right back here on the Tone 25 for the Week 4 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. We will recap Thursday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants, and we will preview the remaining games of week number 4. We got a lot of tasty matchups in there as well, and we'll get into all that tomorrow. And then Saturday, I do believe also at 10:30 over on MF's channel, Racefan 95, it is the Cerebral Smack Talk. We got Friday Night SmackDown. And we will, and MF and the Mikey's Mindset will have AEW Collision Grand Slam. AEW Collision Grand Slam. And if there's an MLW show, I know he'll get into that as well. And then next Monday night, we do it all. And then Monday night, we do it all again. Ridiculously Raw. The Go Home Show for Bad Blood. And then Wednesday night, a huge edition of Wednesday Night Madness, as we are going to review the first NXT on the CW. We've been waiting for it. We're finally going to get it. the series premiere of NXT on the CW, along with the 5-year anniversary of AEW Dynamite. And we'll preview next Thursday night's football matchup. Good one here in the NFC South. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And then 1 week from tonight, we have the Week 6 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. We got some good games on the docket here, guys. We got Michigan State squaring off against Oregon. We got Missouri going up against Texas A&M. Only because of rivalry purposes, Clemson and Florida State. Tennessee going up against Arkansas. You got Iowa and Ohio State. Auburn and Georgia. Ole Miss against South Carolina. Oh, by the way, gentlemen, we're also going to have the rematch of last year's national championship game, Michigan and Washington. And I can confirm that game is going to be Big Ten Saturday night on NBC next week. That national championship rematch with Michigan and Washington. Looks like a decent slate. Got a few good ones here and there, but maybe not quite as exciting as this week, but still. So, and that'll be next week, and that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Week 4 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, right back here on the Tone 25. This is Anthony Florio here for Good Old MF Michael Fletcher, for Michael Bullock, and in spirit, of course, always and forever, our First Lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune Force style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday. And until tomorrow night for the Week 4 edition of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, you've been watching the Week 5 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.